And hello, I think I am live. Hello, hello. Let me just adjust my window here on the screen. There we go. Totally wonky camera. Okay, this is a little bit better, right? Yeah. Well, sorry. It's Friday, like the best Friday, because tonight they're having the release of The Power of the Ring, which is like a television series, hopefully within the Lord of the Ring theme. I have not seen any trailer of it yet, so I'm going to be surprised. I usually watch trailers and listen to rumors and all that, but this time I decided not to view anything, so just watching it with an open mind. I can't wait. I'm just a huge Lord of the Ring fan, so and also like my son, he's home from college and he's like a Game of Thrones fan, so we're like, you know because Game of Thrones also released some a new season, I think. I don't know. So yeah, I don't even know why I'm talking about that. If anybody watched Kathy Apper's channel, they will have seen that her and I participated in a challenge called 10-hour sketchbook. And it was not like an open challenge, it was already closed. So we just decided to do it anyway because it sounded really fun. 10 hours. And I think most of the people who participated in it was calculating on finishing a sketchbook in 10 hours, which is like, I don't know, depends on how thick your sketchbook is, but that's not a lot time to, that's not a whole lot time to finish off a whole sketchbook. So we just decided to work on huge long sheets of paper, and then just ended um when we end the paper. I ended my paper when the stream ended, and I flipped it off my roll and then folded it, and now I'm storing it inside this kind of pouch right here. Like I said, some are able to fill a whole sketchbook in 10 hours. I wouldn't, because I don't know, it's just a lot of pages. So when I'm showing you my roll, you can just know that I spent 10 hours just finishing what I managed to do here. But I try to incorporate new ways of drawing because that's a perfect opportunity to do so. And one of them was that I always grab for a pencil when I'm sketching. So I was thinking, no, this time I'm gonna sketch with alcohol markers, because I always reframed sketching with markers. It's a very permanent line. So it scares me a little bit to start sketching with such a permanent tool that's also not erasable. So yeah, but I think it did okay. I chose to call it the 10-hour art sketchbook and then challenge over here with Kathy Arbor, and then the date down here. And then I used on this spread right here alcohol markers and watercolor, acrylic paint down here, and Posca pen. And then I ventured into soft pastels, and he's in pastel in the face, and I think watercolor down here. Hi, Kathy. So, and Kathy, who's in chat, if you go to her channel, you can see we made it in two streams, like 5 hours, actually 6 hours each stream. So I think we were on like 12 hours in total. This is gouache. There's also gouache up here in the sky. And then I wanted to practice some perspective architectural drawing, because that's also, worth practicing anytime. So I tried to get this frog view up towards something that could be like a church or something. And it's done in Inktense pens and watercolor. Yes, it's a great way to be creative. I'm so glad that we did it, because it was a fun 2 days of just arting, and talking, and yeah, it was really nice. And then I ventured out into some science fiction here. And then I had a FUPAR spelling error here, so it's just hold my finger like this. This graffiti says, "May the brush be with you," and also your English teacher, right? So, but yeah, spray misting with spray. So, an oil pastel. Yeah, I think I got around a lot of art supplies, Posca and pastel, spray, squash, watercolor, acrylic. So yeah, it was fun. And I really think that the challenge is worth revisiting whenever people are up for it, because if you just have like one long endless piece of paper you can work on, you suddenly feel that you can just jump within medias and also what you're depicting. So it doesn't have to be like one long landscape or one subject. You can just like my drawing, like jump into different things. So it's going to be fun to see Kathy Arbor's last finish of her spread, because she's kind of venturing into something scary like Halloween with dragons and everything. So it's just where your imagination carry you. That's really nice. But as you guys can tell on the text on my stream, today I'm going to art journal about a road trip. And I think that I'm gonna do it on this poster. I backed it on some chipboard, so it's sturdy. Oh, now it's out of focus. But look, if I bring my black sleeves into the picture, it will focus again. I think I'm dedicating this to be my art shirt, because it helps my camera to not freak out with colors. So I think from now on, you're going to see me wear these long sleeves when I stream. But this art poster here is hopefully going to contain a story that me, my hubby, and in the beginning, my son took, that evolved into a long road trip where it took us 1 hour and 40 minutes to get to where we were supposed to go. And then me and hubby spent 9.5 hours just to get our butts home. And it was like a quest in the end where we were like exhausted and almost like in despair. Okay. I'm going to do it with alcohol markers because yeah, I recently found this container and I was like, oh my god, I totally forgot about these pro markers. I got my set of alcohol markers in these boxes here. So these pro markers totally took a back seat of everything in my memory that's linked to alcohol markers. I totally forgot everything about these. So I think that I will use those a ton, so that yeah, I'm dreaming that these could be like used up, so that I only have my one stash of alcohol markers. So kind of keeps things a little bit not minimalistic, but it's better overview of my collection of alcohol markers if I have them in my current setup. So having a set like this just hidden away from eyesight is quite a surprise, right? Hi, Barbara. Okay, to make my road trip story, I need a map, right? So I printed out a map of Denmark. And to tell you short about what we had to do, we live, let me use a red one. We live right here, and we have to drive our son to another island. I live in this island, and we have to drive him to over a huge bridge and then to another island. And there's like 630 miles to and from. So it's quite a distance, but it shouldn't take like 14 hours to do so. So I think I will start sketching out just these two islands right here because or should I just glue this in? Why do I make it so difficult for myself? No, I think I need to sketch it out because I need to do some dots and some city names and stuff like that. You know, I cannot write that small here. So I'm just gonna draw it in. And then hopefully I can figure out how to talk and draw at the same time. And for those of you who live here in Denmark, you will see that I'm depicting the islands like a little bit off chart. And it's because this is a stream and it's going to happen a little bit fast. So I'm not going to be like super accurate about the geographic placement, but I would love for my island to be the shape of this leaf. That could be awesome. So if I'm just really brutal, I can do like this, and this could be like the shape of the island that we are living in, like Sealand. And this girl right here could be the beginning of the island where we were supposed, or where we went actually, we went there. So if we got like these two gloves right there, well, my son, he had to start college and he's living in a dorm. So on his first trip, we all knew that he had to pack his car with a lot of stuff and drive the way up. But as parents, we were like really curious, like, what is this place? How does it look like? You know, tons of questions. And he was really psyched up about, you know, having, we had to get up so early, like 4:30 in the morning, because he had to be there at 8 o'clock, right? So he was like, okay, his plan was that we could drive him up there and then drive the car back home with us, and that way we would have the car the whole week where he was gone. And we were like, top, that's a good arrangement, because otherwise, he would take the car, you know, and we would be carless the whole week that he was gone. I actually think that we need some sort of, what is it called when you are dependent on something and you need to release yourself of that dependency, like a detox. We need a car detox anyway to feature life in the daily day without just borrowing his car. So having the car the first week was just a good deal for us. My son got an electric car and it's called an e-Golf. And the battery can hold about, I think 260 kilometers or something. I don't know what that is in miles, but we had to drive 630 miles. So that we at least had to charge full tank, if you can call it that, full battery twice during our road trip. So of course we messed it up. And it's a little bit funny because everything in his car is super electric. And I am a little bit technical challenged. So it's been very frustrating for me to learn how to actually just drive his car. I mean, everything is just touch. And if your phone ring and you got your phone attached as a GPS, suddenly this woman voice comes out of the speaker, says, you want to take the call? And then you can just say yes, and then it will open up the call for you. You know, like everything is just voice commands or buttons on a flat touchscreen. Not, and I am so old school. I like real buttons, please. You know, a button you push and then you can see that now it's down, so it's on, and it's off when it's up, you know. I'm not so good at all that touchscreen and stuff. Yeah, so yeah, but anyway, driving his car is a game changer for how I'm used to operate machinery. And now comes the difficult thing. when you have to charge his car, when we're at home, we just put in a plug in the garage that we had an electrician to put up. But when we're outside, we have to depend on apps that are downloadable systems on our phone to get in contact with the electric chargers that are placed random places all over the country. There's like no rhyme or reason where these electric chargers are, right? Let's see. I have to move my notifications to read chat. You oh, what if you run out of power in the middle of nowhere? Yeah, Kathy, that's what this stream is going to be evolving about. Because you see, you have this app on your phone where we chose a charging company called Clever. And then my son, he was like, have you downloaded the app? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Yeah, no worries. I downloaded the app. And then he kept on wanting me to confirm that I had the app downloaded because that was the most important. There was like a gateway to be able to use those electric chargers that's outside in the spread out in the country. So I thought, because I'm stupid, right, that as long as I got the damn app, I would be able to use my credit card and stuff, like like a normal uh, thingy. Because when you installed the app and you signed in on their website, you had to push in the digit of your credit card. So I thought that it was just up and go and running. I didn't really, none of us has really tried one of these chargers. Okay, so we start out in Glostrup. That's where we live, Glostrup. And our destination is Odense. And it is so funny because Devon Rex for Art went to a flea market and she managed to get maps over Denmark. And the specific town that she got a map over was from this town, Odense, where my son is going to college. So it's just, of all cities in my country, she picked the one that I was in recently. Okay, the road we have to drive is very straightforward. It is across this country until we get to the shoreline here, and then there is a huge bridge taking you across the water, and then you're back on the mainland, on land, on this island, and then you go like that. And that distance right there is 100, hvad er det? 153. Okay, now I have to think, because now I have to think. I need this to be some sort of a drawing where we start from the beginning. So maybe I should write a title to this drawing. I think I'm gonna call it the e-golf road trip, right? Because it was like a road trip with the new car. Oh, this marker is running out of juice. E-golf. I think I'm gonna find this Prussian blue. Road trip. And I want this. I'm just gonna write. Okay, I'm not gonna write the date, or maybe should I? I'm just gonna do like this. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm too confusing talking to myself. I heard some places in the States where it's so hot, they warn about even plugging in your car or the road not taken by Robert Frost. Okay, yeah, I don't know much about these electric cars, but I'm telling you guys, the driving comfort is so wonderful. I mean, it's so nice to sit in this. It's totally sound. Uh, there's no sound in an electric car. You can't even tell that the engine is running. So you actually get this feeling that you're hovering on the street like a flying magical blanket because there's like no movement from the engine. Like sometimes I remember when I had like a really old car, it would say funny noises when I got to the highway, unless I drove in a very specific speed. It will stop saying that pounding noise and then be quite a little bit more silent. Yeah, that doesn't sound particularly safe, but that's just how it works. Um, but I really think that the driving comfort of these electric cars is just enormous, and I enjoy when we're having the car just here in the house. Um, I don't need to go to a gas station. I can just plug it into a plug in the garage, and then there's like you could say gas juice on the car, right? Plus, it's so cheap. Um, I don't know what 1 gallon of gas is costing at the moment, but I pay less than 90 cents for what's equivalent to a gallon of gasoline. So, can you just imagine how much money on the long run you can save on having an electric car? But one of the downsides about electric cars is the long road trips. So that's why they have built hybrid cars that also can be fueled with lead fuel and also run on the battery. So, so that would make a 630-mile long trip um, like a walk in the park because you wouldn't even have to wonder about where to charge your car. Okay, for some reason, I found it particularly hard today to color and talk at the same time. I'm a little bit tired in my head today. It's been a very hectic work day. People are getting paid, so we have we always have like a super busy time at this time of the month. Hi, Gail. That's what we'll be buying next, a hybrid car, maybe next year. Yeah, there is a lot of money to be saved. Okay, I'm just coloring in this letter up here. I thought that I could talk and color at the same time, but apparently not. Okay, I better save my brain power because, as I told when I started this stream, oh my god, the Power of the Ring season 1 has been released today here in Denmark. So I bet. I don't think that we're gonna binge watch the whole season this weekend. It all depends on what mood my hubby is in, but I wouldn't mind. I am a Netflix binger, so if there's something I like, I can watch it from start to finish almost in a very short time gap. Okay, maybe I can talk while I do this shadow because now the letters are down. Okay, the plan was that he's gonna be there at 8 in the morning. So we woke up like 4:30 in the middle of the night to take our road trip and for him to get ready and everything. And we estimated like 2.5 hours drive because I don't know about you guys, but I don't have that the bladder any longer where I can sit 2.5 hours in a car without going to the bathroom. So we knew that we were going to make like a potty break somewhere on this road trip and then maybe get, something to eat. So that's exactly what happened. We took off and we were like in good time and everything was cool. It was morning and we get to this highway truck stop, you could call it, where we were supposed to just stay for a little while, but then ended up spending too much time there because my hubby, he went to get some coffee and came out with, I think actually it's called a Danish. It's like a breakfast thing that's like crumbling a lot, like a, not a donut, but it's like some unhealthy breakfast things that crumbles a lot. And my son, he was immediately like, "You're not gonna eat that in my brand new car. So eat it before we sit in and drive." And while we're waiting for hubby to eat that breakfast, me and my son is strolling around in this truck stop, and we actually find one of these clever charging machines, and we are starting to look at it like, oh, it's the first time either one of us have seen one of those, right? And my son makes it sound like no problem, it sounds so easy, and this is the cable that you use. And I was like, I was feeling confident that I would be able to figure out this charger, right? Looking back in hindsight, we should have charged whatever juice we could get on that tiny truck stop, because we ended up spending about 40 minutes at that the truck stop, from we pulled in till we pulled out. And oh man, when you are running on not a hybrid electric car on a long road trip, every second you get an opportunity to charge your battery, you should take it. Just grab it. You will thank yourself later. But we were kind of stupid, so we didn't even charge the car. We just looked at that machinery and stood there and talking. So we're taking off and we get to the college where my son is taking his education. We put him off and then walk around and all yada yada, all that jazz. And then it's time for me and hubby to take the trip back home. And my son says goodbye to us, and that's where the whole thing started. Was it around? I think it was 9:30 or something. It was still like early morning because he had to start school at 8. So I actually think that it was around like 8:30 or something in the morning. So it's still early morning, right? We say waving goodbye to our son, and we need to find somewhere to charge the car. And it needs like a full battery. Hi, Kimberly. So maybe I should start by writing the time over here when we arrived. Um, where did the marker go? I just had it a second ago. How can it disappear? Okay, it's because it's black, so it's just merging in with my table. Okay, plug in. About 8:30, we are at my son's college and waving goodbye. Maybe I should put like strings down to his college. It's right here. Then we think, hi Deb. Then we think that okay, we're gonna look at that clever charging app and see where is the nearest charger for his car, because in the future when he got the car, he would appreciate that we located that charging station, and just if there's something to tell about it. So we take the app on the phone and then we locate the nearest charger, and it's actually pretty close. So we drive there, and it's like this remote place. It looks like office buildings. It's like there's like people do not live there, and it's next to a very dense wood, like forest. It looks kind of rural, but my son is studying at the agriculture school, so there is a lot of fields surrounding the schools where they are practicing becoming farmers by harvesting and sowing and what's it called, like they're using the fields. So we are thinking, okay, this clever station is just planted in the middle of these fields, so it looks so remote. Yeah. And then I'm standing in front of this charger, and I'm taking the plug from the car and plugging it in, and then I'm switching on the app. First thing happens is that I realized that I did not install the app correctly. I needed to have confirmed it with my own email before it works. And me and hubby, we got our own private run business, so we are on our own server. I cannot enter my work email from external routes. I need to be in the house, backed up to our server to open up our email. And it's because we get so many viruses and crap and whatnot via mail that we have this special security that our company email is constantly being protected by a firewall. So I'm starting with problem number one, which is, oh my god, I cannot use the app because I'm not at home. I can't open my computer and confirm a link before this app works. So for a second, me and hubby, we are like looking each other in the eyes, like, what the hell? How do we get around this? Then hubby, he's like really clever. He's like, no worries. We just right now create a Hotmail account, and then we reinstall the app, and then we sign in with the new Hotmail account. And I'm like, oh, he's so clever. So I'm like, okay, we started. And I don't know if you guys know how clumsy I am on the phone. I can barely text anybody. So for me to do all these steps was just like, oh, okay. Then I managed to reinstall and install the Clever app one more time. I just went online and gave myself a really strange Hotmail email. I'm able to confirm it. And then I'm thinking, yeah, so good. Then I get the app to recognize the car and where I'm at in the country, and everything looks good. And I get to this payment uh, step where I have to sign in my credit card number, and I do that. And then I don't know if you guys got the same, but here in Denmark, we used to have this linked up to our credit card. So whenever we use a credit card, we have to punch in a random number that's linked up to your social security number. So nobody can have the same numbers as you got. But they recently figure out to do it in an app instead. So these keys don't work anymore. Now we are using an app for that because everything have to be so damn electronic. And I know how to use that app on my phone. It just recognized that somebody is about to use your credit card, and you need to swipe to accept it. So it's like a double security. What happened is that I'm having the app on my phone, putting in my credit card number, but then I need to shut down the app, open up another app to swipe, and then when I go back to the Clever app, it is back at zero because I closed it, you know? So first my payment is not is getting annulled because I'm closing down the Clever app to open up the credit card key app. Then I swipe yes to accept the amount, and then I went back to the Clever app, and it has reset itself to from the beginning. And then my hubby's phone is ringing, and he starts talking, and it's something for our work business, so I don't feel that I can interrupt, and he's talking and talking and talking, and this is what happens. I get frustrated, I get anxious, and his phone conversation lasts about 10 minutes. And what I managed to do in those 10 minutes was that I managed to 3 times see if I can, just like on my computer, have a browser open and then two windows. Like on your computer, you can have like two windows from the same browser. And I'm thinking maybe on my Android phone, it's the same. I can go online and then have two windows, because then I could have like the Clever app in one window and then that the swiping app in the other window. And I failed 3 times. And my hubby is still talking on the phone, right? What happened when I failed the third time was that my bank thought that somebody is going to hack Lena's card, because they already within 10 minutes had 3 failed attempts on charging something on Lena's card. So they simply just closed my credit card down. And it was like, of course they did. And it's like a automatic security they have, right? Then I realized that I'm kind of in deep trouble right there. So my hubby, he is finished with his phone call, and I am like tomato red in my head, because I suddenly feel that we are in deep shit, because we are standing literally on a field, and I just closed down my credit card. And I just thought we went so far, like I feel that we are standing at another planet. And then my hubby is like, calm down, calm down. We just use my credit card, because then he can swipe on his phone and I can use my phone with the app open. He's so smart, right? So of course, like, we do it for the fourth time. I open up the app, and then I push in his credit card's number, and then he just swipes it, and payment is in, everything is perfect, and it worked. And then we are like, ha 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 ha, laughing, But I'm such a chicken that if I get really frustrated, I'm like this close to cry, So I went from like almost crying in frustration to we're just laughing it off, like, oh my god, we're so lucky, good I'm having you, and good that you're with me and everything, Then we look around and we kind of think that it is strange. There's like no coffee shop or any shop or anything in everywhere we look is just like rural. So my hubby says maybe we should just start walking because the car, guess what? The car need to recharge for 3.5 hours to get enough juice on the battery to take us home. So we have to spend 3.5 hours on that field, right? So, um, oh, I just read Kathy Albert's comment about drawing a skeleton sitting, yeah, sitting in the car. I should make a drawing about that. But I just told you guys, where I managed to shut down my own credit card. And I freaking knew it. I knew it when I attempted the third time that watch out, because I have had this issue before. That I had like 3 attempts within a very short time slot, and then my bank will just shut down my card. What could I draw? I think I'm gonna draw uh, my hubby just going in the distance, talking on his iPhone, and me just kind of exploding. Because I was left alone for 10 minutes. There was like, I could have done so much harm to myself in those 10 minutes. But it's true. Imagine if I took this trip on my own. Imagine that none of us was able to take time off from work. So I had to drive my son on my own. I would have been so screwed. How do I? Okay, I have to look pissed, right? So I'm like really mad. And then like showing my teeth and everything. This is me. I better give myself eyelashes so you can see that it's a girl. And maybe I should give myself like I'm wearing red lipstick so we know that's me. I was just I am so technical challenged. Um okay, let me draw myself probably how I was standing with the closed fist, realizing that I just shut my own credit card down. And then I would be like jumping up and down. That is a very weird drawing, but I'm going for it. I look like a hamster ball, but maybe that's not so far from the truth. Let me get in some shadow. I totally forget that this has to be like a drawing session also. I can just sit and talk and talk. Okay, and then quickly draw in some shoes. Like I'm jumping. And then I need to pick a color of sweater that I can use on the whole spread. Should it be like this dark? Yeah, this dark red. I like this one. Red is my favorite color. That is me jumping up. Does it really look like a person is jumping, or does it just look off? It looks like I'm squeezing out something from the toilet. Let me find a gray pen to make the shadows. Maybe I should draw like a frustration, a lot of cuss words. How do you? And maybe a shadow down here because I'm actually standing on the ground. Okay, you can't see that I'm standing on the ground. So I need to do like green plants. And way down here in the back, we can see my hubby just talking on his phone. It to me, it felt like his conversation just went for half an hour. It didn't, but it really felt like it because I needed his help. So we just gonna draw him just relaxed, talking while I'm sort of kind of messing up our way home. Okay, we're gonna give him a color shirt. What should it be? Like maybe this green? I like this teal green. So red shirt is me and teal green, that's him. The good thing about drawing yourself is that you can draw yourself with no gray hair and then just pretend that I got brown hair Oh my god, I made him look like a Lego man. That's perfect. Okay, I need a skin tone. I don't want to use my markers, my regular markers, because the thing here is actually to use up this stash of pro markers, so I don't have like a secondary stash of supply that I will forget. And I think that happens a lot with us. We think we can buy that extra little set, but then that extra little set kind of tips the scale, making you forget your stash because yeah, you suddenly just have too many of one item. So let me give myself like really red cheeks here because I'm frustrated. Okay. Then we are looking around and we are on a field, right? So my hubby, he says like 3.5 hours in this place, we're gonna end up killing each other. Maybe we should just start walking. That got to be a road, a main road out there that we can walk back on, and then maybe take a bus into the inner city because we are only 6 kilometers from downtown Odense. So we start walking, and the streets are like only car traffic. We don't see any pedestrian walking or bicycling. Everybody is in a car or in a truck. Woo. Traffic is just cars. Then we finally find a sign that looks like a bus stop. So we walk up to that. On the bus stop, they don't even mention any street names. It just names arrival times, and they're apparently only running once per hour. And then you're screwed when you're in an area where the buses will only appear one time per hour, and it doesn't even tell directions like a city name or something, so we wouldn't even know if we're standing on the right side of the road to catch a bus might even take us further away. So suddenly we get like cold feet, and we agree that it's a little bit dangerous taking a bus away from this area because it's so remote that we are not even sure if we can find our way back to it. So we get this nice idea to go back to the car and then drive the car 6 kilometers to inner city, find a clever station there, and then recharge the car near a place where we can go to a cafe or a mall, like something that's more civilized than a field, right? And then we are standing on this road. We actually walked in a long U shape to get to the main highway. So my hubby convinced me that we could take a shortcut through the woods, through this dense forest. And I'm looking inside of it and I'm telling him like I think it looks a little bit wild. Like, and then he's like, "Oh, come on, people do that all the time. I mean, don't tell me that somebody walk that U shape to get to where we parked the car. So people probably have trodden down a little trail that we can follow inside the forest." And before I know it, he's already started walking into this forest. So I'm just following along. Then we are supposed to walk in a straight line in that forest, because the way we think we view it is that here is our car and then we walk like a U shape to get to the main road. So we actually just have to take a straight line and walk through this forest, right? And we think we are walking straight, but we're actually doing like this. So when we come out here in the other end, there's like pretty far down here. So we walk and we walk and we walk, but it was actually nice, walking in the woods with animals and birds and mosquitoes and whatnot. But still a little bit off. And then when you're walking in the woods on a Monday morning where you're supposed to be at this time of hour at work right now talking with customers, then you really realize that not doing what you're supposed to do on a Monday morning, right? So we get back to the car, and it was so easy to use the app and say that we want to stop charging now, and then it released the plug, and we drove to the inner city of Odense. The traffic was so stuffed. There were so many. I don't even want to say that there was so many cars. I would just say that the roads were so small. Like, they needed two-lane traffic to get traffic going smoothly, but we only had like one lane to drive in. So I don't know if you can imagine how stressful it was to drive the car in a new city where there was just too much traffic. And it was like, where does all these people come from? Like pedestrians, bicycles, like it was just like an ant. There there was just like so much going on in that city. So I really thought it was really I was uncomfortable driving in there. And then we get to this clever station, and then it's occupied. And the thing is, with electric cars, they sometimes need to charge for 2 or 3 hours. So when it's occupied, you don't really know for how long. And then I told my hubby, I need to get out of this car now. I can't drive one meter longer because that was so uncomfortable. So we're standing on this parking lot, and we are looking at this clever app. Our phone was like our guardian line. And then we realized that there is a long way around the town to another clever machine, but I couldn't even think about going in this direction to get another. So I told my hubby, you know what? Let me just catch my breath. And then I think with what we already have charged, that we should go back on the highway towards our home and then catch whatever charger we can on the way. And we are thinking like, yeah, that's probably sound like a good idea. So before we go into the car, because I just needed 10 minutes to just kind of collect my guts to go into that city traffic one more time, we just want to stroll down one street. And then we start walking. And then we took a turn. And then we took another turn because we saw this 7-Eleven where you can buy coffee. And then we came out, and then we couldn't remember when we came out of 7-Eleven from which direction we came in. And apparently we took the wrong direction. So we started walking until I'm telling my hubby, like, I don't recognize anything of this. I don't think we passed any of this. But to make a long story short, we spent 2.5 hours lost inside Odense city, just walking and walking and walking. And it was kind of relaxed and fun because we actually bumped into some galleries, and it's getting like 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock, and galleries were opening up. So we actually visit a lot of galleries, and that's from where I got these brochures. Oh, let me see. I think we visit 5 galleries, and I got a ton of brochures, but I got these left. I'm gonna keep these two because this one I'm gonna send to Anne Lar because she's also a fan of Lego uh, figures. So this one I'm gonna send to Anne Lar. And this one I'm just gonna keep for myself because it's like good thick paper, and some of the papers are like you know um, pattern paper. Yeah. So, but okay. The app needs a find my car on it. My son got that. He's got an app where he can see exactly where his car is. And the fun thing about all this is that he's at school, and he's worried about if we came home. So throughout the whole day, he has been checking his phone and couldn't understand, what is my car doing there? Why haven't they gone further? Why is my car stopped here? But he didn't want to ask us. They're so funny. But we managed to find back to the car, and then it is just so unfortunate that we didn't had it charging while we were walking, because otherwise it would be fully charged. So somehow I need to write about 11 o'clock. We are walking in Odense City, and we didn't meant it to be a 2.5 hour walk. It just happened so because we kind of got lost. So that's where we are here. So I think I will go like clockwise this. So I'm gonna write like okay, I should write like at 8 o'clock we dropped off our son, right? I'm sorry, I'm writing it in Danish, but it's just I think that the I will benefit more from it from myself when it's in Danish. So about 10:30, I think I'm just gonna write "Lost in Odense" because I would know exactly what that is. I'm just gonna write in English "Lost in Odense." So 10:30 we start a drive towards the highway, and we don't have much juice back on the battery. We got some, and it will take us actually right here. And I'm telling you guys, it was such a scary nightmare to take that ride because okay, what you don't realize, and we don't cross this bridge often, is that the bridge actually starts several kilometers inland, actually right here. So I wouldn't even be surprised if this bridge alone is 20 kilometers long. So what happened is that as soon as you start this trip over here, there's like trip of no return. And we genuinely thought that around here would be a natural place to have a gas station and an electric car charger unit, because that's just before the bridge and just when you got off the bridge, right? But the bridge started so far inland that we kind of had like this nightmare going on when we crossed the bridge, where we were so afraid, like we're not gonna have enough battery to get past this bridge. We're gonna stop in the middle of the bridge, and it's gonna be so embarrassing, finding a tow truck and everything. And then we get to this end of the bridge, and right next to the end of the bridge there is this electric charger from Clever. And I'm serious. We are barely rolling in that parking lot and stopping our car instead of in front of that charger, and both of us is like laughing, like, oh my god, we are so lucky, I can't believe that we're so lucky, and how stupid of us to engage that long bridge ride with so low battery. We'll never do that again in our life. And then we think like, oh, but now everything is going smooth because we are on our own island now, so we just have this stretch home. Then the second problem starts. Either of us can get cell phone connection. It's impossible for either one of us to get more than one ping. My hubby only got half of a ping, and I got like 1 out of 4 ping, cell phone, what's it called, when you have to cell phone reception, it's called. So I'm having trouble with my phone to connecting to the the clever charging unit. Yeah, it's called bars. So I start walking backwards and backwards and backwards because it seemed like if I walked in a special direction, my bar would like increase a little bit, but I never got more than one bar. So I'm ending up standing in a strange position on this really it's a parking lot where there's also a camping unit. So what's it called when people are having all year round camping trolleys in an area. It's that sort of a bay area where you can see that people have been like hanging out in this camping spot for several weeks, right? So they're like a trailer park, and I'm standing on top of a piece of artwork that I don't even know what it is, but it was a very uncomfortable sculpture. But I needed to get like high up in the air, and I'm having these people sitting in these sun chairs just looking at me, like a freak show, like what the hell. And then I'm having a full bar on my phone, and then I'm yelling back to my husband, what's the number of the charger? And then he's yelling back to me the numbers. And then I need him to plug it in when the app says plug in the plug. And then I need him to run to watch me with the credit card number. So he's like running, and I'm typing in. And then we managed finally to get it to receive his credit card, but it was a Peter, I'm telling you. It was pending and pending and pending because we didn't have any reception. And then finally it acknowledged his credit card, and the car starts charging, and we are like, oh my god, we are so lucky. One more time, we are actually like running out of luck. So we're walking towards the car, and then we know that we should stay here for like 3 hours at least to get it fully loaded, so we have like to a trip home, right? But before we go and look around, I just needed to close the window in the car because the window was rolled down. And the reason for the rolled down window was because air condition also eats the battery. So on this whole hot day road trip, we didn't have a single minute with air condition, and it was horrible. And we had to drive with the windows rolled down, yelling to each other. And my hubby's got like a very vivid imagination, so whenever I spoke really loud to him on the highway, he kind of always managed to make it sound make sense in his head, so he would just reply to what he thought I said. So we had this very odd conversation the whole day, where he's like mistaking whatever I'm saying. And in the beginning, I'm laughing at it, but in the end, I'm like, never mind, forget it, forget that I ever said something. It's just okay. So I am opening the car door, rolling up the window, and closing the car door and locking the car. What I don't know at that moment is that when you're using a stationary charger, like we used, and you're opening your car door, it will immediately, for safety reason, erupt and stop the charging. Because your car is supposed to be locked during the whole charge. But I did not know that. So, to make a long story short, in this area, is that I actually, after we fought so hard to make the app work, I screw it up by opening the car, rolling up the window, and closing the car. So it only charged like 4 minutes or 3 minutes, and we think it's still charging, right? So I'm locking the door, and then we're walking towards this. There is this kind of, every trailer park's got this information booth where they are selling lousy burgers and nasty ice cream and stuff like that. And we're walking toward those, and then we're joking amongst each other, like, should we grab ourselves a food poison before we reach house? Because so far this trip home has been really unscheduled. And then we start talking about my hubby's phone is running low on battery. that maybe we should just ask some of the campers if we could borrow a charger so we could reload his phone. And we thought that, like, yeah, Danish people friendly. No. That's when I learned that Danish people are extremely suspicious, top lazy, and will not help a friend if it costs them money. And I don't know if it's like all that thing about electric prices are getting high. Nobody wanted to share electricity with us. So we're just asking politely, like, could I please just charge 15 minutes on my phone? And this is after they saw how much we struggled on the parking lot just to get reception, right? Nobody really wants to help us. And then he says, like, go and ask up in the information booth. And then we go up there, and there was this woman standing inside, and she's super friendly. She just don't have the same cord that my hubby use. So we're just like kind of screwed. We cannot get out his phone charged. So we just decided to, you know what? Why should we run out of luck? I mean, the car is charging, things are gonna be fine. We just have to stay here for 3 hours and then we can go home. So we start walking down the shore. We ate a little bit. We shared an ice cream. We were talking until none of us was talking to each other for long sections of times, like, like just walking next to each other, not saying a thing for 15 minutes. And then we go back to the car, contempt that now we're gonna go home, right? And then we realized that it only charged for 3 minutes. And that's where my hobby lost it. I think he just really, he was like, he was swearing and he was like, what the hell? And he was trying to figure out a reason. If like the charger, clever charger, had bad connection of internet, that could also be a reason. And then we are just like making a lot of noise, and then this other guy, this guy from the camping area, he kind of strolls towards us, and he's the one breaking the news to us, saying that, well, I saw you missus open and closing the door, and I was actually pondering whether she disconnected the charge right there, because usually that's what these chargers do. And he even thought about telling us that. So I don't know, it just it made me snap. I was standing there trying to smile politely at him, but that inside of me, I snapped totally. What kind of an asshole got that kind of assumption but doesn't react on it? I mean, I don't know. It's still, oh, I can feel that I just want to snap right now when I'm talking about it. But anyway, okay. We don't have a lot of reception on the phone, but we can see on the app that if we move up here, it's very close. There is another charger. So we decide, you know what? Screw that bad internet connection. We're gonna just take the car, and apparently we're laughing stock to everyone at this trailer park. So we're just gonna get the fuck out of this trailer park where I'm capable of killing that guy. And I think my hubby, you can just see the red in my eyes. So we have to move, move, move. So we're driving not so far to this other charging station where we managed to charge up a little bit. And then that little charging station was, I think it had a loose connection, or I don't know. We could charge 10 minutes at a time, and then it automatically bumped out. So there was something wrong. But we got enough gas to get to Slagelse, and it was kind of a long shot. Slagelse. This was Korsør. We want this charging. According to the app, it's a speed charger. It charges twice as fast as an original charger. It's a little bit more expensive, but when you're out on a road trip like that's going downhill, you want to pay 1 million just to get home. So we are aiming for this. We get to the place and it's perfect. it's next to a Bilka, which is like a Danish Walmart. So all the, when we roll into the Walmart parking lot, I was cheering in the car because I can see myself spend 1 hour in that mall, easily, no problem. So I'm cheering and we're starting chanting like we're gonna charge. And then we get there and then it's occupied. And you were like, hell no. And I think we sit there for more than half an hour just waiting for somebody to come. And it was worthwhile sitting and wait because it was a supercharger. So it's likely that the person who's charging right now will return within the hour, maybe. But nobody came. So we decide, okay, that's just a shame. So we go a little bit further away to a different charger, but that's a slow charger. And we are rolling in on very low battery. We almost have like nothing. And at that parking lot, we are about to open. I'm opening up the app, and I look at my hubby's face, and he's looking a little bit strange. And I'm like, "What? You don't think that I can do it?" And he's like, I'm pretty sure you know what you're doing, but I got bad news for you. My phone is dead." I'm the only one with a live phone. His phone is dead, and we're gonna use his phone to use the credit card swipe. And then I'm looking at my hubby, and then I said, "Now I literally think that we are stuck because I can't see any way out of this situation." It's past 4 o'clock. I can't call any banks. They're all closed, and we have no juice left on the car. His phone is dead, and I only got like my card. So for a second, we are standing there, and my hubby, he's always like, take it easy. Let's just, think it through. Where I'm the kind of panic person, like, I'm already dead. I'm running around like a headless chicken. And he's like, well, the cool guy. Then he starts thinking, and then we're looking at his wallet, and we are so damn lucky that he brought the company credit card. And then he's like, okay, we're gonna do this company card, and if we're really lucky, we don't need to swipe it because it's not connected to a social security number. It's connecting to a company VIT number. So we are looking at each other in the eye, knowing that if he's right, we got money. But if not, we're probably just gonna, be stuck there. So we try and punch in the digit for the company Mastercard on the Clever app, and bling, it just passes through like butter. I mean, it didn't ask for anything, no security code, nothing, and it was just astonishing. And then we managed to get a full load on charge our car full up so we could come home. But in total, we spent 9.5 hours to get from here to here, wasted a whole day. And it wasn't even because we were on an adventure. Every hour was like a struggle to get home. It was just, no, we were not meant to be on that trip. But we have strolled places that we've never been before, especially at that last place where we finally recharged the car. We spent 2 hours in this park where we mainly just laid in the grass and then just killing time. And we were talking about, people are probably looking at us thinking like, oh, I wish I was them, just lying there relaxed. But what they don't know was that we were lying there stressed, hungry, and angry. Like we just wanted to go home. We weren't lying there because we chose to. We were like forced to kill time. So yeah, it was awful. I'm telling you, that's really, yeah, you're right. That's when you need to go to hard liquor when you come home. Red wine won't do it. You need something that hits a little bit harder. But when we came home, it was just like, I don't know, like we've been away for a week or something. But somehow this road trip really was teaching us a lot about apps and electronic, and how you cannot depend on anything in general. Like you can't even depend on having a cell phone reception, or that your cell phone battery will endure just one freaking day, or that that all that online payment and stuff. So yeah. That was a long story. And as you guys can imagine, I want to draw about it. I want to make it into a poster that because it was like almost like 12 hours road trip. So hi Caper. So I think I will go like in a circle, and then end up when we're coming home 9.5 hours later. But I think I need to write up here that we needed to drive 2 gange 150, 300. We needed to drive 340 kilometers that day. I'm riding 300 kilometers from Glostrup to Odense and back home. But luckily, we made it back home and didn't have to ditch the car somewhere. And I totally wonder. I think that people must have had similar experiences, for the first time utilizing an electric car, and then thinking like I think that when you download an app, it's going to be like a generic app where you can just use your credit card, no issue, and not somewhere where you had to confirm stuff with an email and whatnot. It was so difficult to just subscribe to the app, or what's it called, fill out the oh my god, I know the Danish word for it, because you're logging into the Clever app, so you're actually filling out some sort of account. So I need to go back to cash and gas. Cash and gas. That's a good one. Yeah, actually, we live in a modern world where you can be like pretty rich in cash, but you can't get anywhere because everything demands some sort of electronic payment. But let me figure out. Um, we were lost in Odense, and then I think Korsør, that's the worst one. That's where I couldn't get any cell phone reception at all. And that's where I was standing on top of this. I think it was a statue of, it was like this abstract art piece. But what pissed me off was these people lounging in their sun chairs, just taking it all in like a theatrical show. So somehow I need to draw some people just like that, sitting there with a big tummy, just looking at us. Wearing a sun hat. Because that's how it felt, like people were just lounging, not doing anything. Okay, maybe his stomach is a little bit too big. I'll do like this then. And then another guy over here, maybe. And then maybe like a yellow sun hat on him and a red cap on the other one. Green grass. Where's the gray? Maybe like looking out on this huge parking lot where we were like struggling. Yeah, we sure felt like that. My 19-year-old father is having trouble paying with cash at the gas station. Yeah, it is just so strange. It's slowly going into this cashless community where people just assume that you have a credit card. Oh, how can we draw this? I think we need to draw the car at one point, right? That is like the whole main character of all this issue is the car. So let's just get a car in here. That's the car, right? And then we get that stupid clever Stana. And why is it called clever? At least they didn't call it easy. And then you have this electric cord going to the car. And then up here on a statue, we got like me standing, holding on. Trying to get a damn bar on my cell phone. And over here, we got my hubby. I'm just gonna draw him like this. And we were just yelling to each other. Oh my god, you can't even see what I'm doing. I just tried to draw myself hanging on this statue. What could we make? Like maybe brown? I don't even know what it was a depiction of, but it kind of felt of one of those things that you do not crawl around on top of it. Now I made it look like one big turd, which doesn't matter. That would be just fine. Where is my light gray? Right here. But I'm telling you guys, it was so frustrating trying to we talked with our son on the phone, and then we should have told him about all our issues, but none of us wanted to start it up because it's such a long story, you know. So both of us were like, we'll tell him when he comes home for his weekend trip. For some reason, I'm just gonna draw some sort of trees or something. I just need some landscape going on. Korsør. Let's see. Okay. I don't think that I'm missing something up in chat. I also was surprised about how little people want to help you because it costs them electricity. Um, I don't. I hope that I will never be like that when I grow older. Like, like they could like clearly see that we were out in trouble. You know, if we couldn't charge my hubby's phone, and yet still they nobody really wanted to share their camping unit electricity for just lousy 15 minutes. Let's say that somebody had had a heart and did so. Those 15 minutes could be the difference between us having a huge problems. You know, let's say we didn't have that company card, then we would have really thought that those 15 minutes would have been a game changer for us in our situation, right? But I think it's so easy for people to say that, oh, I'm going to help people if they pass out on the street or if somebody is in trouble and yada yada. But I can also understand when you're in the situation that some people just freeze because they see that nobody else is helping. Then they think, oh, they though that couple might be sketchy or something. So I'm trying to make this look like some sort of a map. Maybe if I color it in the water here, we can tell that we're talking about islands. But I think the electric car is perfect as long as you stay on the island. If you venture out, you really need to be prepared with a picnic basket and whatnot. I remember when he bought the car, we were talking about how long he could drive on one charge of battery. And we were almost like not joking with it, but we were like, yeah, well, you don't need that big of a battery because you're not going to leave the island anyway, you know, like you can drive from one end to the other on one fully charged battery. But I guess after this road trip, I realized that um, those people who are just taking a spontaneous car drive down to Italy or France or Spain while living in Denmark, I would never do that in an electric car because it's too much hassle having to wait 3 or 4 hours to get it fully charged, and then what if you're not safe where you're charging? What if it's like in the middle of the night and you have to stay in your car? There's just too many questions about this method. But as a small family car, like the second car for small trips, it's perfect. Perfect. Oh my god, that's like the most choppy filling in of alcohol markers that I shouldn't even stream this. This is not a tutorial on how to use your markers. Oh man, that looks like really bad. Sorry. Oh, look, I'm just going around in circles. Now I have to do it like so it looks like a part of the texture. Like I'm aiming for this. Yeah, it's such a shame that I think I'm gonna block her out so the island can stand for itself. That would be nice. Maybe I can actually block her out just by using marker around her. There, now she disappeared a little bit more. I'm still not content about the way that I filled in this color. So let's just leave it at that. Yeah, but that was my plan. Now I'm totally empty because I talked so much. Hi, Anlar. I still haven't posted your Lego catalog yet. I think I'm gonna do it Monday. Today was just a really busy and kind of hectic day at work, so I didn't get time to write a card and find something else to put in the envelope. So Monday I'm going to post it. Oh, that's cool. When are you actually going to Legoland? Is it in September? It could just be fun if you had the catalog before that, or as a ephemera for your traveler's journal. Are we having a lag in October? Okay, then I actually got at least 14 more days to find something fun to put in the envelope. That's good. That's good. So, but yeah, I think maybe I should end the stream because I really don't feel collected enough in my brain to add in small drawings. Suddenly, I'm just like totally empty. And then I start coloring in. But I wanted to make this poster mostly for myself so that I never ever forget that horrible first encounter with all. Oh my god, that's too dark. Yeah, you really have to watch out for these markers. Now I have to color all of him in this color. Maybe it's okay. He's been in the sun for like ages. He really looks like he spent too much time in that sun chair of his. Okay. So I think I'm just gonna end the stream because I can feel that I cannot subtract any drawings of my fingers today. I'm totally it's been such a stressful day at work. So yeah, that's the downside part of it. If you take our monthly income and spread it out on a timeline, we do at least 30% in only 2 or 3 days. That's in the beginning of the month. And then it's more calm, the rest of the month. But these days, around the first of each month is just awful. So, oh, thank you, Kimberly. So I think I'm just gonna watch Bob Owen and then sit slowly and try and sketch in, because then I can get more details and more like time wise where we were and stuff. And also, I really should draw a big picture of the car up here, because the car is kind of the main person in this whole story. And I also should go online and find how exactly those clever charger station modules looks like, so I can paint one behind the car. So I was like totally ill prepared for, for this. So, but thanks you guys for coming, and hope to see you uh, soon. So have a nice week. Bye bye.